here. Voila. I should go live. Next, Twitch. Hopefully it doesn't crush my computer. People are used to seeing that, though, when the stream starts, there's always a little bit of a stutter. All right, so Twitch streaming, also live, and I'll put that also in here. Perfect. Perfecto. Chat, where is the chat on this thing? There's the chat. All right, do we have anyone in here? Let's see if we got any folk in here watching. We've got Foo Shark. He said, hola. Hola, Foo Shark. Thank you.
Hey, Foo.
See if we just get anyone else in here for that. But this is recorded, so we'll be able to catch people up. We have been getting people to watch it afterwards. So this is week 3 of streaming and meeting the GMs, or part of our series of crew chats, essentially, because here at Event.Cruises, we do a lot of cool stuff, from D20 to wargaming to gaming cosplay on cruise ships, and we get to recruit and take awesome people out to sea to do these things, such as GM Rich Howard here is one of our D20 GMs for, what, the 3rd year?
This will be year 3 for me.
Year 3, nice.
I missed year 1.
Year 1, the year of the conference center.
I'm glad I missed year 1, from what I hear.
Yeah, that was the pact when we heard loud and clear that we should get some other options, and the junior suite seemed to be a good thing. So
oh,
we
man.
got Nilla, welcome.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, so part of that, we have a D20 coming up in April 23 this year. Rich will be there. So if you have played with him, make sure to watch his video. Maybe he'll spill some secrets. Who knows? We'll try to pry it out of him. If you're not going, consider going. The more the merrier. We love our big band of geeks running around the ship and scaring everyone else.
Oh my gosh, I have some stories, I tell you.
Excellent.
I was listening to, it was Tim or Way's interview, and they were talking about we're 10%, 5%, 7% of the cruise or whatever, but our presence is well known.
Yeah, yeah, that's about right. Even on the bigger ships. So this year we're going on the Independence, so we are probably going to be about 10% of the ship, which is always good.
Wow.
And it always surprises people because they're on it, they don't know about the event, right? So they're going on the cruise, they think it's all a normal thing. They end up going to the bowels of the boat where the conference center is, and then always peek their head in and always have this face of what is happening here?
Yeah, I mean, it's like suddenly convention.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Convention.
So at some point I was, let's see, what was I doing? This is classic. I was delivering tentacles. I had a handful of, I think, Wizards of the Coast tentacle minis that somebody had handed. They're like, hey, can you give this to GM Tim? And I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. So I got this handful of tentacles, and I'm on the elevator, and I'm going down to the convention center, I think, because I think it's when he and DM Neil were doing their giant finale.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just standing there, it doesn't even faze me. I'm standing here with this handful of tentacles, and this couple behind me, the woman in this couple behind me is like, are those miniatures? Is that D&D?
Oh.
And then this woman on the other side of me must have been 70, and she's like, there is so much Dungeons and Dragons going on right now. There's just so much D&D on this ship right now.
I love to see it.
I'm like, what is happening? I'm like,
where else can you have that statement? Is I was on a cruise ship and I was delivering tentacles.
Delivering tentacles. There's so much D&D going on right now.
Yeah.
I
always feel bad when they pop in and oh, can we take part in the event? I'm like, sorry, we're pre-booked on this kind of deal. Happens every time. It's heartbreak, but we can't allow non-booked people into the cruise by Royal Caribbean standards. Otherwise, we'd just be selling tickets at the front, right?
Oh my gosh,
as many people in.
Are you kidding? There's so many people on there. Oh my gosh. I had, again, sitting at lunch, some guy was sitting there. He's like, are you with that D&D cruise? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, man, I used to play Paladin in high school. And he just started going off on this story between, I think Tim was sitting there too. It was so funny. So it's, people are interested.
People are interested. Actually, I guess that's a good segue into the main focus here, because the cruise is cool, but you are the center of our attention for the day. You are the one we want to pry and learn your secrets.
I know nothing.
I know nothing. Well, maybe we'll find out. So I guess the first question that we've been asking people is essentially what got you into the hobby, and then we'll start to explore from there. Is what got you from into the hobby either as a player or a GM, and then eventually to the point you're at now where you're a professional GM.
Right. I think I'm old. Uh, so I like a lot of people, my age anyway, that started playing. My older brother was playing. And so my older brother's, he's 8 years older than me. So he was about 16 and I was 8.
Hmm.
And so my mom would make him take me to his friend's house when he was playing D&D. And this was in, I want to say 77, 78, something like that. So I was around 7 or 8 years old. So to be around 78. And I would hang out. His friend had a pinball machine. I'd play the pinball
Oh
machine or
man.
whatever. But eventually they let me play a character. So they gave me this first level wizard. And back in the day, you were like a one-shot magic item. Like you cast your one spell and
And
then
that
you
was
just
it.
stand in the back for the rest of the day. Hope you have a crossbow. It was weird. I'm glad they have cantrips now.
10-foot pole.
Anyway, yeah, it's weird. So I had this character with a sleep spell. And back in the day, I think it was like 44 hit dice for the creatures or something. So it was like 4 to 16 or it was 2d8. I can't remember now. Anyway, I kept asking like, can I cast my spell now? Can I cast my spell? I mean, they were literally like doing kick the door in, kill the goblins, take their stuff kind of thing.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
dungeon crawl. It was 78.
Yeah.
All right. So they opened the door and there was 16 goblins in this room. And I was like, should I
Oh.
cast my spell? Should I cast my spell? And they were like, actually, yeah, that's a good idea. And I crit rolled the dice. So all 16 goblins fell asleep. And then I had these like whatever 4 or 5 like teenage guys like, yeah, just like roaring. And I was like, I'm gonna do this for the rest of my life.
Yeah, that must have been a dopamine spike beyond
Oh,
anything that your 8-year-old heart could
yeah.
have taken.
It was amazing. It was amazing. So I told my dad I was interested, and he was like, "Okay, well, we'll wait till you're like 10 and see if you're still interested, because D&D was a fad back then." But my mom and dad were pretty supportive, which is a big deal because I lived in a small town in Kentucky, and Satanic Panic was right around the corner, and they were like, "That's nonsense," and I was like, "Thank you for that."
Love it.
So. Yeah, so when I was 10, Dad got me the red box, the old red box basic set. Played with that. My brother-in-law, now ex-brother-in-law, bought me a game called the Official Superhero Adventure Game, which no one's heard of. Played the heck out of that. It was kind of more like a miniatures war game, but with superheroes, which was kind of fun.
Yeah, we need more of that now. That sounds awesome.
It was fun. Yeah, it was like super early, Ford Model T version of like Hero Clicks, kind of thing. But there was no
The metal.
miniatures.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was no miniatures.
Oh, there
no.
wasn't? Okay.
No, there's no minis. Like the minis back then, you were like, it's a blob of lead. I think it's supposed to be a halfling. You know what I mean? Like there wasn't any detail to those things. So I got that and played that. And then in it was 83 or 84, I bought Champions, which was the Hero System superhero game. And those people who know me know I'm the creator and co-host of a podcast called Whelmed, The Young Justice Files. And I am a huge comic fan in general and animation fan, but specifically DC Comics fan. So I played tons of basic and first and second edition D&D, Hero System, Elf Quest, Chaosium, anything I get my hands on. Ran a werewolf LARP for years, Werewolf the Apocalypse.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, Werewolf the Apocalypse. We ran at the Huntington Park in Orange County for a couple of years. I've done that. I've done just a ton of different things. Role playing has just been a through line for my whole life. So does that answer your question?
That does. No, that's a great way to get into it. I mean, like you got thrown in the deep end as a one-shot wizard, hit the dopamine spike, and you're like, this is it.
Yeah.
Which leads you to here, right? So that was you as a player. The interesting thing is always like when someone makes a jump from player to GM and how they like make that transition. So you kind of mentioned like running things, but do you remember the circumstances that led you to saying like, I'm going to run my first game ever in my human existence as a game master?
Yeah, when I was 10, when I got the basic set, because I mean, there was nobody to teach us how to play, right? This thing was literally like non-existent. It's not like you're playing a game of Monopoly, right? So we all played it wrong. because that's the way it was. And unless you had someone to show you. So my brother was able to teach me some stuff, but he was older. So eventually he went into the Air Force.
Hmm.
And so I learned how to play with my other 12, 13, 14-year-old friends, 15-year-old friends,
So did you just wrangled them up together and you said, "Hey, I got a game. We're gonna play
Actually,
this."
so my like childhood best friend that I'm still best friends with, the reason we met,
Hmm.
I had in middle school, I'd moved across town to the Cross Rival Middle School halfway through 8th grade year. It was like
Oof,
the worst timing of all. Like
brutal.
everybody's already settled in, they've known each other for years. I'm like, hi, how's it going? So I'm sitting at lunch, and I don't know. It came up in a conversation with somebody. I was talking about D&D, and this guy, like it's like I always picture it like a like a 16 Candles movie or something, like something from the 80s where he just kind of leans out from behind somebody else and he's all, "You talking about D&D?" He's talking about D&D. And so we met. We've known each other for 45 years now, I think 40 years, and he's going to be on the cruise. Hey, Steve.
Heck yeah.
He's going to be on the cruise this year with my other really close friend that I've played D&D in my basement in the 80s. Like I'm a cliche.
Like legit.
I'm a legit walking cliche.
Yeah,
All those stories are,
Stranger Things owes you royalties.
dude.
Like that's
I told I watched Stranger Things. They were like, "Can you tell what Stranger Things about?" I said, "My childhood."
my childhood.
Yeah, minus some of the
That
monsters.
that must have been like a weird nostalgic like slap to see that.
No, it's so weird. Like somebody brought this up too. I don't remember if it was one of you guys or somebody else. They're like, man, going from like paranoid, like really feeling scared for my life in the 80s in a small town
Mhm.
with the satanic panic, it was bad.
Yeah,
Like going from that to like I'm being hired to run games on a cruise ship. Like, I
that's
also
gotta be
have a
surreal. Yeah,
it's completely surreal. I feel like I'm living like I feel like I'm the Truman Show, and you guys are all just cast members that are just you know
who let the plot slip? Who let
who
the plot
yeah,
slip?
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Production.
Yeah, it's incredible. So I don't take any of this for granted, I guess is what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
it's pretty brilliant.
Can you imagine the
It's
disbelief if you were able to go back and then talk to your past self, like like
so
the eighth grade self, and be like, "Hey, you're gonna be a professional GM and you're gonna be on a cruise ship running games."
yeah, so when I was what was it? 45? 35. I think when I was 35, I wrote a letter to my 15-year-old self.
Nice.
And I wrote a little article about all the amazing and incredible things that are going to be happening. I was like, hey, the number one, one of the top three like best selling movies of all time is Avengers. I'm like, yeah, I know. Yeah, it's hard to believe. Like I just wrote this whole letter to myself to be like, man, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
It's going to be okay, and it's going to be better than okay. Like
Yeah.
you're going to be going out in the world. Just participate with joy and excitement and happiness, and participate and support people in what they do. And you're going to be surprised when you start doing things, how people will step up and support and encourage you to just. This is a bucket list item for me, man. I'm a Marine. I'm former, Marine science person running games on a cruise ship. It was literally a bucket list item. When
Oh,
Neil told me this was a thing, I was like, wait a minute, what?
yeah. Background settings on point for you right there, right? And I
Yeah.
mean, like on that note too, and we'll get back to one of the other specific questions here, but like on the cruise, you run an aquatic setting, right?
No.
No, not at all.
Yeah. So that's part of my thing. Like, so when I was back in 2013, 14, something like that, when I was just starting to move into doing like professional writing and doing other stuff, I'd been taking writing classes forever. I was working on a middle grade fiction novel. I was
Mm.
doing a lot of that. And I was at the World Fantasy Convention, and one of the editors from Paizo was there, who's also an author.
Ooh.
And somebody asked him, hey, where do you find writers for Pathfinder? And he said, at places like this. And
Oh.
I had separated my RPG stuff from my narrative stuff so hard. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to write for RPGs because I love it so much. I don't want to start and
Mm.
have somebody tell me I suck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And I've been doing it since 1977. So I probably have something, but it blew my mind. I never thought about that. And so I had I went home and I burned in my memory staring at a blank computer screen thinking what can I offer that people, Monty Cook and Shauna Germain and Bruce Cordell and all these incredible, Robin, and like all these people have contributed to this thing I love so much. What can I do?
Yeah.
And one of the things I'd always wanted to do was more underwater adventures,
Mm.
right? And you just didn't get any of that. Now it's a lot more common, but like you couldn't get any of that. So I started writing articles on my website about how to run games underwater.
Oh.
And I got a guy who's a friend of mine who actually I run his setting now on the cruise ship Under the Seas of Adari. Sean Ellsworth is one of the guys behind tribality.com. So he was creating Vodari. He was running his Vodari campaign way back in the day. That would be 10 plus 12 years ago.
Oh wow.
Creating this setting. And he was pulling stuff from my website to use in his setting. And then he contacted me and asked me if I wanted to write a column.
Yeah.
And so I started writing a column for him called From the Depths. And
From the depths.
every week I would put up stuff about like inspiration from science fiction and transferring things into Pathfinder and 5th edition and just talking about the science behind things. And then I met Neil Powell, who's one of the other GMs on the cruise, because I started listening to podcasts. And then there was the Dungeon Masters block. I think I'm episode 19, and I think they're in the 400s now. I just messaged them and said, "Hey, can I come on and talk about running games underwater?" And Mitch was like, "Yeah, sure." So
Unique niche.
I think I was their first official guest. And then I went on and he's like, "Wait a minute, you got a degree in marine biology?" He's like, "I didn't think we are going to school. I just thought you liked running wet games. I don't know, underwater games."
Just wet games.
Yeah. So I started blowing their minds with, stuff that you can pull in that even if you have grognards like me that, I'm not a grognard, but like, people have been running games or playing games for 30, 40 years. You put them in an underwater setting with some actual inspiration behind science and other
Yeah.
things to it, they're going to be having a completely different experience than they've ever had.
I mean, all the physics change, right? Like how you
Well,
interact with the world.
there is and no, like people get really stressed out about it. They're like, "Oh my gosh, but the pressure and the holding the breath and blah." I'm like, you know what? We climb to the top of freaking mountains in every game, and there's no oxygen up there, guys, and
True.
nobody cares.
It's so
Nobody
alien, I
cares.
guess people think about it like way differently. You think that's the
Yeah.
hurdle?
And so there are ways to handle it. You just gotta kind of know what to hand wave and what to not. And they're like, "I don't understand the swimming." I'm like, everybody has flying. That's
See,
all there is to it. And you can do, actually, I'll show you. Actually, I'm going to bring up a picture here. Let me see if I've got
yeah.
this. Yeah. So you can kind of see in the shot, I use some clear level markers that people use for flying, but I use them for that. And a lot of it, you kind of, yes, I love maps and I love minis, but I also love theater of the mind. And
Yeah.
if you can let go of the number crunching and the calculus and the a squared plus b squared equals c squared of, angles, and if you can just let it go and just kind of like let the action take care of itself, then the swimming and all that kind of stuff, takes care of itself too. There's some ways that you can do pressure just to make it so that it's a visceral feeling, more than anything else. But
Yeah.
otherwise, it's just a unique setting with unique problems and unique creatures. And it's just the best. It's just the best.
I think you got
Um,
drunken panda in chat. He said that dwarf mini's up to no good. I think were you the dwarf drunken panda?
oh, that's Drunken Panda.
That's
Hey,
drunken
actually,
panda.
I'm gonna bring this up then too, because so one of the things that I do on the cruise is I have my players go on HeroForge.com and create miniatures on HeroForge if they do their originals. I also have pre-gens and stuff. So, but if they do their original, I have them create it, and then they just send me their design, and I 3D print like you. And so then I will 3D print a couple copies of the miniature that they have for the game, so they can use them during the game. And I usually print up a couple copies because the players, one, just in case something breaks on the way,
Yeah.
but two, because we have people who do painting classes and stuff on the cruise, and so I've had a lot of my players will go and use that miniature and paint it while they're there on the cruise during the game. It's been really cool. But I have these pre-gens here. You can actually see that dwarf right there. So the rest of these were pre-gen characters designed by myself or my daughter.
Oh, okay.
But that dwarf was actually designed, if I remember correctly, by Drunken Panda, who's apparently
got
in the
the
thing right now.
got the pike going on. Yeah, looked like a little Poseidon dwarf.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, that was his. I could be remembering that wrong, but I think it was. So so
The GM Tim said he sucks up to his players. Is what this means.
hey man, my players are here to entertain me as much as I'm here to entertain them.
Look at
That's
that.
the way that it works,
He gave a little winky face.
Tim.
Yeah, he said
Oh,
that's
damn.
Hilnir Rum Runner. That's what Drunken Panda said.
Oh yeah,
Zombie
that guy
biscuit.
was.
That's really cool. Nice.
Yeah, that was some pretty cool stuff. It's just and every group that I've run through. So I've run this same adventure the last couple of years. So it have been 4 different groups, and they've been 4 very different games. I've modified it. I've been playing this particular scenario that I've run for many years,
Oh,
and
wow.
it's evolved over time. I've adapted it to the Vidari setting. I had to expand it out. It used to be a one shot, but now we do 3 3-hour sessions. So
Yeah.
I have an arc A, an arc B, and an arc C. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Act
Yeah.
1, Act 2, Act 3,
Yeah.
and expanded it out. It's been pretty great. And it's just been different every time in such an incredible way. And everybody seems to have had a really good time in this unique setting. So
No, that's awesome. Yeah, we've seen nothing but good reviews. I'm a little jealous every time when I go on the cruise because, I'm an NPC. I'm essentially sitting at the table like slinging coupons and stamps and stuff. I love it.
you got a little
Yeah,
quest
little
marker on
quest.
top of your
Yeah,
head.
like
Yeah.
go get a picture of a seagull and I'll give you 2 coupons. That's right. Yeah, got him. But yeah, it seems
But
like
what's
when
really strange is I've never not seen you at that desk. I mean, 3 o'clock in the morning, I've come down and I'm like, are you actually a person? Could you
well,
sleep ever?
one with the crew,
But
one with the ship. We kind of meld once we get on the boat. So,
that's true.
you know, par for the course
It's
on
true.
that.
Yep. You're always there, one, and I've never not seen you with a big smile on your face,
It's
which is amazing.
plastered. This is my angry face, actually. This is
Wow, how lucky are you?
how lucky. Yeah, no one takes me seriously.
No one, no one.
Yeah. No, but it's pretty cool hearing the stories of people that play. Fushok said we're not NPCs, we have dreams. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's pretty cool. So I guess one of the questions that I have here that also of interest is right. Like we know how you got into playing, we know how you got into GMing.
Sure.
The big leap for other players, right? Because like GMing is a huge hurdle to get into for a lot of folk. They have a lot of imposter syndrome, or they don't think they could do it. Professional GMing is leagues above, right? Like,
Yeah.
so the question that I've been asking Way Stark and GM Tim is like, for you, when you first had your opportunity to be a professional GM, do you remember when that happened and how either nervous, excited, combination of both? Like, what was the build up for that, and where you said like, I'm gonna do it. This is it. I'm doing it.
Yeah. I think I had a unique experience. So, like, the short answer is my first pro stuff happened almost at exactly the same time, which was this cruise
Heck yeah.
and working for a guy named Gabe Garner, who has a website called theundiscoveredlands.com. It's also kidsplaydnd.com.
Oh, sweet.
And I love running for kids. My wife and I are teachers. I'm a nurse by trade now, but we homeschool our kids and we run homeschool classes for kids. I run in-person D&D games, but now I also run online games. But one of the things that I didn't want to do was actually I didn't want to learn Roll20 and digital stuff. I like miniatures. I like that visceral experience. And how do you do that online? And then I ran into Gabe Garner through Ishan Sherwood at Total Party Thrills podcast.
Oh, cool.
And he does this really cool thing. He's got it's like a full studio. It's like a miniature studio. He's got his camera down and he's got minis and he 3D prints stuff. And so the kids are online, but they're like, okay, I'm going to move next to that guy. And you've got these screenshots of stuff. I'll bring up some screenshots if I can find them on here
cool.
that you can see. So I get to actually run these games, but have that same miniatures and visceral experience for the kids and for my players. But when Neil had gone on the first cruise, he and I had already been talking about doing pro DMing for a little bit. And what does that even mean?
Yeah.
Like what is a pro DM? What makes us better or different or whatever you want to say, or more professional, whatever the word is, than some other DM somewhere else. And I think for for Neil and I, we both had been running games for podcasts for so many years.
Hmm.
So we've been running actual plays with really pro people, creators of the industry, like all of these things that we've done for a long time. So there's a nervousness that builds up first. Um, so for me, actually, way back in the day, now I think about it, like when I went to my first Gen Con, I had been listening to a bunch of great podcasts, like the One Shot Podcast Network stuff, and so I said, I'm going to go to Gen Con and I'm going to run a game and I'm going to run it for the podcasters I love. So I just bucked up and sent emails to all these different podcasters. I'd been enjoying their podcasts. And I said, can I run a game for you at Gen Con? And they were like, yeah, that sounds really fun. And I ran a scenario in the Edge of the Empire setting from Fantasy Flight game, Star Wars setting. It was called From the Depths of the Empire,
Hmm.
and it was an aquatic based Star Wars game.
Yeah.
Um, and so I ran that for the One Shot Podcasts Network. I ran James Intricasso, who's now the lead designer at
Oh yeah.
MCDM.
Yeah.
Apparently, I heard an interview with him and Ishan Sherwood on Talking Tabletop or something was on that. They were like, hey, remember we met at Rich Howard's game? And I was like, wait a minute, I introduced you to? I don't
You're
remember
the
that.
power
And
behind the throne here.
I
GM
didn't know.
Tim
They
said
were
that's a
like,
great system, by the way.
oh, it's a fantastic system. I love that system. It's a beautiful balance of crunch and fluff, like narrative
Hmm.
and number crunching.
I
It's
gotta
great.
check that out.
Yeah, so I ended up running games for these people that I admired on podcasts, and then just kind of doing that was like really my first, I would call it pro game. Like you're sitting
Yeah.
down, you're running for people that make you nervous. Like you have a show,
Yeah.
like you're doing a thing and you're performing in a different way.
Okay.
And and that,
So
and
so
that
let
was a
me.
long time ago. And then I started doing these on podcasts and stuff. So when we did kind of start talking about transitioning into pro work,
Yeah.
I mean, I knew how to, I had
You're
a
yeah, you kind of like
radio
led
voice.
into it. I guess that's the thing then. So you committed to Gen Con, you reached out to these people, you're flying over or driving or you're getting to Gen Con. What was going through your mind when you're like, "Oh man, this is happening." Like how much did you prep? What were you going through
Yeah.
at that time?
I was nervous. I
Yeah,
was really
I
nervous.
bet.
Um, for anybody who listened to the One Shot Network's campaign podcast back in the day when they were doing Star Wars, it was run by their GM is Kat Cool. Man, she was like my hero. She was amazing. And I wrote an article on Tribality just called it was called something like Wishing I Was Cool or something like that. And introducing people to Cat Cool and just talking about how great she was. And
Wish I
so
was
she
cool.
saw that article apparently, and she was like, "I can't believe you wrote that."
Oh,
Um, it was really sweet. In fact, she is one of the play testers. If you go on our new game, Descent into Midnight, there's an actual play on there, and Kat's one of the players. I was so honored to have her in that,
oh heck yeah.
which was pretty amazing. So, so yeah, I was really nervous, really, really nervous. And now I've known them for years and years. Met Jeff Stormer from the Party One podcast, all these people back in the day when nobody knew who we were, you
Yeah,
know.
it was kind of
And
like
then I
a
turned around and
powerhouse that just kind of built up of a bunch of talented folk, and now you're here. You're
it
creating a
was
whole
incredible.
bunch of stuff.
My first editor was a guy named Dan Dillon, who like Dan Dillon is an incredible designer. He's done tons of stuff for Cobalt. He was working for Wizards of the Coast for a while before that whole layoff problem.
Mm,
I think he's back working with Cobalt again. I steal his
nice.
stuff all the time. He's amazing. He was my first editor, and I was his first edited person. So it
First
was great.
victim.
Yeah, his first victim. Yeah, so I got lucky. So I joked about how I was old, but basically what happened is back then I just participated and tried to support people in what they did, and
Mm,
and that allowed me to have the opportunity to run games a little differently. Running at
yeah.
cons is very different than a home game, you know, and running on the ship is very different than running at cons. I mean, cons are usually doing like a 4-hour one shot maybe or a 3-hour one shot. This is 3-hour games. So it's not a whole campaign, but
Yeah.
it's definitely not a one shot, you know?
It's a cruise-sized mini campaign. Everything's
Yeah.
smaller on the boat, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Homage
So
stuff.
I don't even know if I answered your question. Did I
No, no,
answer the
you
question?
did. I mean, because it was like just understanding like the arc to get into pro GMing, and for you, it seems like it was a lot of leaps and bounds of like trying things, reaching out to people, sharing authenticity, which is awesome. I mean, that's one of the things that I've come to appreciate about since we run many cruises, but the D&D one specifically, or D20 for RPGs, is there's a lot of authentic fans for a very specific interest. So everyone really gels well. I always
Yeah.
joke about like GakuCon is great. We have a great time, but it's like gaming, cosplay, anime, tabletop. So you have like a bunch of people coming and going. It's general geekery. We just did like the Battle Barge cruise, and it's kind of similar to this, where there's a lot of authenticity, but it's not as a creative endeavor. Because like I'm gonna
Yeah.
go play war games, you play war games, but a lot of D&D folk, from players to the GM, have like really strong creative instinct, right? Like that's the whole point of the game is collaboration, like collaborative storytelling.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to hear this, and then like how your progression took place was a lot of that was like I'm into the hobby, I'm learning more, I'm getting a mastery into my craft, I want to expand it because I enjoy it, and
Yeah.
now I'm you took a lot of like strategic risks, put yourself
Yeah.
out there, and
Yeah.
so far smooth sailing. Well, smooth as sailing. I'm sure like an
Yeah.
overnight success took years to make, right?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely had moments where I had, yeah, I had some moments at Gen Con and at San Diego Comic Con for that matter too. I had
Mm.
this one year where I just was having like an ego shattering
Oh.
because I'm just a fan who loves stuff and I'm trying to do things. I'm just enjoying the space, right?
Mm.
And I had one of my RPG heroes, I won't name who it was, showed up with a whole bunch of people, and he looked at me and he said, "Rich Howard," and I was like, "Hi," and he's like, "Hi, somebody told me you weren't going to be here today." I was like, "Nope, I made it." And he's like, "Wow," and he turned to somebody who was part of his company.
Hmm.
And he was like, "Hey, this is Rich Howard. He's a nurse and a marine biologist, and he does this and he does that, and blah, 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 blah. If there's somebody you need to know in the industry, it's Rich." And I'm like, "What is happening right now?" Like, I don't understand what's happening right now. I
Yeah.
am like, the person you're talking to, don't talk to me. Just talk to that person. That's the person. And so it was this moment of like, you have to kind of honor that somebody is like, right, I guess he knew me from online stuff. I don't even
Mm.
know. Like, and Neil was there, and Neil like leaned in like a Warner Brothers cartoon at one point. He's like, "When did you guys become best friends?" He's like, "I'm like, I don't even know what's happening
That
right now."
seems like such a Neil moment, right?
Yeah,
Canonical
yeah, you
Neil.
know Neil. You know
Yeah.
Neil. He's just like,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
when did you guys?
Tim.
It
GM Tim
was,
said, "Oh yes, those are the vibes. LOVE. That shit."
yeah, that's totally Neil. And so I was like, I had to sit with this idea of like, I've been trying. I was interviewed on a podcast called The Math of You,
Mm.
which is a great podcast. Lucas Brown, he does this podcast where he brings people on to talk about the formative media of your youth. And
Mm.
so it's everything. It's music and cartoons, and it's anything you want, right? And so
Yeah.
I came on to talk to him right when this was happening, and he said, "Oh, how do you phrase this?" He said, "Oh, you had to learn when to stop looking at your feet." Like, I was like, "Okay, I'm going,
Yeah.
I'm doing the things, I'm enjoying the things, blah blah blah." And I got to look up in that one moment and look around and say, "Okay." It's not like I arrived, but it was more
Yeah.
like, "Okay, wait, I need to stop. Something's happening. Something happened, right? I've been participating and doing the things, and then suddenly somebody knows who I am, and I don't want to disrespect what that is. I
Yeah.
want to honor what that is. I also don't need to have it be defining who I am as a person or any of that nonsense.
Yeah.
I don't need any of that. But also, like, you don't want to be like dismissing somebody that you respect in an industry who's giving you that respect back, even when you don't understand what's happening in that
Yeah.
moment."
I can't imagine a moment where your reputation actually precedes you and someone references you. It's got to be like,
Oh
yeah,
God,
that moment where you look up and you're like, "Oh, I
that
made it to the where I'm
that's
going."
that was another story which was hilarious. I don't think Neil was there for this one, but like, I was talking to some people at Gen Con, and this random guy walks up to me and he goes, "Are you Rich Howard?" And I turned and looked at him. I was like, yeah." He's all, "Hmm, who are you?" And I was like, "I'm sorry, what?" He's like, "I have been here for 2 days, and every panel I've been into, somebody has mentioned your name. That somebody's talking about you with this or talking about you with that. I have never heard of you.
Who
Who are
are
you? Who are you? It was so funny. I started laughing and I'm like, I literally don't know how to answer this question.
that's a
And
big
then
question. That's
it was, and then Troy Pitchelman was there. Troy Pitchelman, he was a big backer of Descend to Midnight, but he's done a ton of stuff with Monty Cook Games too. Had a great podcast called Cypher Speak. He was there and he's like, I got this, and he like stepped in front of me and he started like saying all this stuff. It was just hilarious. It was so funny. Um,
heck yeah.
but like it's one of those strange things where I don't even know how to process all that. And but people have come and they've asked, like, how do you do stuff in an industry, right? So how do you become a
Yeah.
pro GM, or how do you podcast, or how do you do that stuff? And how do you break in? And I said, first thing, stop trying to break in. You know what you need to do is just participate, just be there, be present, enjoy the stuff, you know? One of the things my wife and I talk about with the kids and with adults too is every person has a unique combination of skills and experiences and life and enjoyment. If you can take those things and put them together, you'll put them together in a way no one else has. And like, don't be somebody else, like be that,
Yeah.
like be whatever that is.
It's like tackling things like be authentic. Like people can
Yeah,
smell inauthenticity from a mile away. Like if you're just trying to like
yeah,
transactionally do things rather than like I'm gonna do something cool, you may like something cool, or you're gonna do it, and we're gonna like support each other because we like
yeah.
this thing. It makes sense.
Yeah, I a while ago, like there was a time in my life where I was like, God, I hate this and this is crap and garbage, blah blah. And it was a long time ago. But like I learned pretty quickly. I was like, you know what? I'm not spending any energy putting energy on things that I don't enjoy.
Hmm.
How about I chat up the things I do enjoy?
Yeah.
How about I talk about exactly why Cat Cool is an incredible game master? How about I talk about how Neil Powell is one of the best people in the world? How about I talk about I met GM Tim. We stayed in the hotel together in the first cruise, and then we like binge watched. God, what did we? Tim, are you in the? What did we binge watch? I can't remember what
Tim's
it was.
there. Yeah, let's see. We'll give him a second when he catches up.
See,
You put a little
see if he,
mic.
see if he's
Saying
there.
preach.
It was
These unexpected life lessons. My Twitch stream. What is this? A D&D session?
nice.
Unexpected
Oh my
lessons.
God, we binge watched movies together and just talked, and I just enjoyed him so much. And it's just enjoying the people that you're with and seeing what it is. And all the DMs on this cruise, I've learned so much. I've learned so much from Dan and from Rachel. I'm stealing stuff. I'm like, ooh, that's a great idea. I'm going to borrow that. Like
Tim said it was John Wick.
John Wick. Yeah, we watched like 3 John Wick movies back to back, I think,
Heck
maybe
yeah.
4. I don't know how many there are. I'd never seen them. So he was like, you've never seen them? Sit down.
Got to check him out. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. So, but we like at J Africa. Oh my gosh! Like I just hear how everybody else runs games and incorporate them. Actually, that may be part of the answer to your question about the pro GM thing.
Hmm.
I play tons of systems. D&D does not do everything.
Yeah.
And I have stolen stuff and mechanics from other systems to smooth out or to create a thing. Like D&D doesn't do heists, but Blades in the Dark does heists, and they do them really well. And so like one of my group had a whole heist thing that ended up happening. And so I pulled mechanics from there to into D&D, mashing them together to smooth out. It was still D&D, but we had the classic heist flashback moment where like you find out what the plan really
That
was.
Ocean's 11 going on.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, somebody spent an inspiration. Okay, great. There's your flashback point.
Okay.
And let's like you have a bomb. You have the bomb. We're not going to talk about how you got the bomb. You
Yeah.
have the bomb. Just explain to me how you got the bomb, because the bomb is the most interesting thing. And then let's move forward with the storyline, right? Let's not have a whole side thing about sneaking in someplace to get a bomb. Like you just have it.
Drunken Panda said, and suddenly charisma bomb.
Yeah,
That was such a
yeah.
great moment.
It was so good. I had so they got the bomb. They told me how they got the bomb. And then I said, okay, I need you to make a roll, but I don't want a million rolls, right? I hate a million rolls. I want to make rolls that matter. And so I was like, I'll have them make a roll to see how good the bomb is. And so I looked at the group and I said, okay, do you guys have smithing tools? You have alchemist supplies? Do you have anything just to make a roll?
Yeah.
Crickets.
Oh no.
No one has anything. And so one of the guys, he's playing a bard, and he looks at me and he goes, And I was all, jack of all trades? And he's all, maybe?
That's his
I said,
justification.
I said, okay. I said, you know what? Just pick a stat. I don't care what the stat is. Just pick a stat and tell me how you're using the stat to make this roll. So I'm thinking like dexterity check, right? To like make the
Yeah.
good bomb, or wisdom or intelligence or whatever. And he gets up and he starts this like New York nightclub stand-up routine. He's like, so, I wasn't always me. I had friends and we did things, and sometimes those things weren't great, and we were doing bad things. And I'm like, what in the world is happening right now? I'm laughing my butt off. It is this hilarious thing. And it occurred to me, I said, wait a minute. Are you trying to convince me that charisma is the best check that you're going to use to make this bomb because you're a guy who knows a guy?
He's a
And
guy who knows a guy.
he was all,
Yeah. That's bardic. So he
yeah.
was the bard.
And so he starts. So I said, I'm in. I'm totally in. This is hilarious. And then, so as he makes the roll, I thought he was going to say, everybody stand back. I haven't done this in a while. But instead he said, everybody stand back. It's been a while since I saw a guy do this through a window.
Oh no. That's not what you want to hear when someone's like within
Making a bomb.
talking distance of a bomb.
See, those are the storytelling moments. Those are the things where you can get mechanics and loosen up the stats a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't care. Sometimes I don't care what skill you're using. I want you to tell me the story about what your character is.
Yeah.
Right. That told me so much about his character and about his background. If I just said make a dexterity check with a proficiency of blah, 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 it's more like limiting it. And I think that playing other systems and getting a feel for other things helps that pro GM, I guess, if you're going to have a name for it, pro GM feeling, where I can focus on the player or the character and let the mechanics get out of the way, like feed the story, but don't get in the way of the story.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, the game is a collaborative storytelling thing, and I think that's like the strongest point when people can lean into it. And from what I've seen, we've had a lot of great GMs. We've had a lot like explain their systems, and a lot of the people that do the surveys when they go onto the cruise, they want more of that, right? Because like the home games tend to be, we're going to play it by the book. We're going to do a dungeon slog. I think the next level from what I'm seeing off the data and from hearing from you guys is, be able to adapt, improvise, role play. Like that's the real secret sauce to all this.
It is. And I think that the thing, player agency is really big to me. Like I want the players to tell me a story. I want to be as entertained by the players as the players are by me.
Oh, you're winning twice when you play these games then, right?
Yeah. So I have mechanics. I have these cards that I use. Paizo put out a set of cards called plot twist cards. So when somebody makes me laugh, like, okay, you get your heroic inspiration back. But if you already have your heroic inspiration and you're making me laugh, you're entertaining me, you're enjoying stuff, I will throw you a plot twist card. And those plot twist cards will give you, and you can look at them, you can look them up online, Paizo plot twist cards. They have a mechanical thing. So it might be like lucky, and it'll say plus 20 to the next roll or whatever. But those are the mechanical thing is usually the least interesting thing on the card.
Yeah.
And then it'll have several bullet points for narrative ideas. Things like you found the right thing at the right time, right? Or, you met the right person. Those kinds of things.
And so, cool. Yeah.
And so I give them to the player, and they find these moments to hand me the card back. And it takes them a minute because they're like, wait, you want me to use this? And I'm like, yeah, like, I'm not going to let you wreck the game, right? You're going to tell me what you want, and I'm going to help that happen in a way that makes sense. That's my job, right? But it gives the players, it has made these twists and these character things, and like enemies have become allies and all of these cool things that are surprising me in this beautiful narrative way as much as the players. So player agency is really big for me. And if you're just following the rules in a book, I don't feel like that's the strength of role-playing games. Now, some other people may feel differently, and I get that.
Yeah.
And that's perfectly fine. But I don't care what your magic missile looks like. I'm going to ask you, what does it look like to you and for your character? I don't care what the book says.
Yeah.
The mechanics are the mechanics, but your magic missile are targeting mechanical things because you're an alchemist. I love it. Let's do this. Like your little yeah, your little Iron Man rockets, I'm in. Let's do this.
I
Like,
was
why
seeing
do I?
I was seeing who the next GM is to see if we get a difference on opinion between like mechanical rigidity or
Yeah,
narrative fluidity. So next is
I
Jay Africa. So I think he's going to be on your side of the fence.
no. Jay is 100% on my side.
He's yeah, 100%.
100%,
I'll take that
100%.
one to Vegas.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and Jay is an incredible G. You know what? Whoever you're going to play with, they're going to have a fantastic experience.
Yeah, funny enough, Jay was the first person that we reached out to for the D20 cruise because this is when we were selling out of Los
Los
Angeles. So
Angeles. Yeah.
so he was running the local meetup community there, and I was like, okay, I want to find people that are local to the area because we always try to go local first when we can, just to like help. Like the same thing, we buy games locally, we do whatever we can locally. And I was like, oh, this guy's like running the local community for like GMs and pickup games. I was like, let me reach out to him and say like, hey, can I contract you for a little consultation? And then we sat and we talked about that, so it was a good time. And then that kind of ballooned, like using that same method to meet all of you, which has been awesome. So it's like referrals of referrals. That's most of the GMs are like within a degree of each other based
Yeah.
off of referral systems. I can't complain with the results.
Yeah. Well, so Neil was on the first year, and then Neil told me, "Hey, I did this game on a cruise," and I'm like, "I'm sorry, why didn't you tell me this earlier?"
Traitor.
Traitor. Yeah, but it was. I'm really glad I came on. I came on when I did, and I'm just really glad you guys. I interviewed with Marcel,
Mm.
and it was just, yeah, it's just been an incredible experience. And I'll tell you, one of the reasons why I did that was because Neil talked about the cruise was really fun and that kind of thing, and that's kind of a bucket list item. It was really cool. He couldn't stop talking about you guys.
Oh.
He just couldn't stop talking about you guys, like over and over and over again. Neil and I have been to tons of conventions, big conventions, little conventions. We've been to early conventions. We've been to conventions been around for decades. Neil couldn't shut up. He was like, these guys are the nicest. They're just like always smiling. They're there. They just because they want people to enjoy themselves. Yeah, of course you got to have a business and you're doing your business stuff. But he's like, that never overran everything they did. Every time I turned around, they were full of joy and riding the joy of the people that they were doing the thing for. And I was like, okay, that's it. I'm going to apply and see if I can get on. So it wasn't just the doing it on a cruise, which is great. It was because of you guys.
I think my glasses are fogging up a little bit from the redness. I appreciate that comment. Thank you.
Absolutely.
No, yeah, it's been fantastic for that. Even beyond like what we had expected from anything that we could have planned for this. So yeah, I'm glad that it's appreciated. We appreciate you and the community for everyone showing up for this, and we're gonna keep it going as long as we can until people
Yeah,
tell us to stop.
the hype was real.
The hype was real. The hype
It
keeps
was
on
real.
going. Yeah, yeah. I think 2027 we're gonna be back in the LA neck of the woods too. So it's gonna be fun to go back there and see if we can get some of the folk that
Nice.
went to the west because we had a lot of people asking us like, hey, when are you guys gonna sail out of Los Angeles again? But we go where the conference room goes on the ship because not all
You had
cruises have it. So like we migrate with it. So this year we have 3 sailings out of Port Liberty, Bayonne, New Jersey, all on the Independence of the Seas. Yeah.
okay.
So
You had to wait till I moved out of San Diego.
yeah, that was it. Yeah, we were
Yeah,
waiting.
thanks.
We're following you. That's actually what we're.
It's- you're avoiding me. Is what you're
Yeah, we're
saying.
avoiding you.
Pretty
You
much.
just keep following.
Ah,
Yeah, I
can't
guess
believe
this
it.
is this would be a good one. So like, we learned, got you into the hobby, GMing, pro GMing, the journey. So this kind of like capstone question that I like to find out now. Like, I am I am a person with a moon full of money as the joke that we go with it now, and I want to say, Rich, I want to give you any amount of money, resources that I have at my disposal to create your dream and your vision. What is the one thing that you would love to see, regardless of time, money, just your pure passion project? Doesn't matter. Don't need income, no revenue. Don't have to worry about anything like that.
I have too many. Are we
Hey,
talking about in the like gaming related?
anything. It could be gaming related, but it truly could be anything. Because this is part of seeing is like a creative GM, because you work in a collaborative space and all this is just finding out like you as a person, as a creative, you could be a savage. You could say, I want to be the Wolf of Wall Street and trade nothing but stocks and make even more money. I'll be like, okay, we'll give you the moon money, but fine, what's that?
You don't know me at all.
Good.
Yeah. Um, Man, this is a tough one, I have to say. I'd say one of the things that I would want is So like I mentioned before, my wife and I homeschool. My wife was a special education teacher for a very long time, and she had a really it was a challenge, burned her out.
Mm.
I was a nurse and am a nurse now, but I burned out as well during COVID and had to take some time off, and I'm back doing some things now. But we homeschool and we run these classes for kids that are local. But there's a lot of education and a lot of stuff that I would like to have available. Kids are not in a vacuum. It's not that you can't just help a kid and then send them back to a home. In that home, the parents working 80 hours a week,
Mm.
and they aren't able to spend time, and they aren't able to, they're just stressed all the time. Like we need to support community. We need to support families. We need to support everyone to create a better foundation for not just education, but socio-emotional stuff. I'd love to get kids more into gaming and things like that because of all of the benefits that you can have from that thing. But you can't just help the kid. You have to want to give the parents a break too, especially a lot of the parents that we saw in San Diego and here where I live now in Texas.
Yeah.
They don't have as much family. They don't have as much, community support. I'm a nurse. Don't get me started on medical bills and insurance stuff and the way that's run. It's a mess. So
Yeah.
if you were going to give me that money,
Moon
I
money.
think that I would try to put a lot of effort and a lot of
Yeah.
like thought process in how to create community more in the way that I think we've gotten way too far away from how community should work in the
Yeah.
United States to get it good for everyone in a way that just isn't, I think, working as well
Yeah.
um, in our systems.
Yeah. It's a very, very grassroots approach to like I will make everything better by fixing the ecosystem that is. Because like I was just when you were talking about like you can't just help the kid. This is like my brain thought of like you can't just equip someone in like the best gear and armor them and then just drop them in a volcano, right? Like it doesn't.
Yeah,
You can't just do that. Like you have to fix
yeah,
everything if you
and
can. It'd be like, hey, we're not going to drop you in a volcano, but you have good armor for the battle coming ahead.
yeah. It's rough when you have the foundation is a little bit off for those things. So the game we talked about earlier, the one that's coming out soon, the Descent into Midnight. It's
Mm.
I helped co-create this game because not only do we use it for storytelling and all of the role-playing benefits and teaching marine science and doing all the things that we do, it's also heavily a socio-emotional game.
Mm.
So it's if people out there have played games like Masks, A New Generation, or other Powered by the Apocalypse games that where the ability scores, like
Mm.
in D&D, it's strength, dexterity, constitution. Are the things that define your character in our game are altruism, community,
Nice.
hope, drive, right? These are the things because you can literally create whatever you want, inspired by whatever you want. Our game helps you create a species for your character. And then all the players also come together with their species and create a unique community on an alien world that's fully underwater in a way that's in a place that's never been touched by humanity. And then the technology there, it's advanced. It's a science fiction setting. It's all psionic and biotechnology.
Oh wow.
So it's never been touched by humanity. So we've had characters play a plankton, and I had another character play a living ocean.
A living ocean and a plankton.
Yeah,
That's a heck of
yeah.
a interesting
Uh,
scale.
another character played a leviathan that they never saw the body of the leviathan because it lived inside the planet and only interacted with the other characters through like tentacles that came out of holes all over the planet.
Oh man.
So like when you have that,
Yeah.
who had a higher strength doesn't really matter,
Yeah.
right?
The plankton,
So
clearly.
the characters come together and they're guardians of this community that you create, and we help you create the corruption after you've created this beautiful community. We also help you guide you to create the corruption that is undermining it, that you're defending it against.
Mm.
So it becomes a deeply personal game.
Yeah.
But like with Masks or Headspace or other games, when you do things in the game, it doesn't the game doesn't ask you how many hit points you have left. The game asks you, how do you feel about that?
Mm.
Right? Like you just lost this community collapsed because of this corruption, and
Yeah.
you're rescuing people and it's not going well and things are going on. How does that make you feel? Like the damage you take are actually conditions. So you might mark the condition despair because
Yeah.
because of what's happening around you. So it really makes you go introspective with your character. So not only does it just like, yeah, we use it to incidentally teach marine science and cooperative storytelling,
Yeah.
but there's a socio-emotional element to it about teamwork and about self-reflection and things like that that you can do in role-playing games. And the more kids who get exposed to that type of role-playing game
Yeah.
and that type of thing can build from a young age ways to tell stories about themselves and other people and face things that
Yeah.
I think is one of the most powerful tools in the world for education.
Oh, I agree. I mean, often when I look at like, because gaming, we as humans, we tend to game to teach skills, right? Like, and it's usually a thing is like you'll have kids do the game to go through the repetition or the physical action or the mental exercise, so they can have good practice later on as an adult. So something like that, where it's a little bit more nuanced for social and emotional development,
Yeah.
huge. And where else can you get a kid to pay attention to that kind of thing other than through these really like unique games? So
Yeah.
it's Descent into Midnight. It's still a work in progress now. Yeah.
So actually, our final draft of the PDF is in my hand. In my
Ooh.
hand, the PDF is in my hand. Actually, here I'll bring up. This is the cover of the book
Oh
that will
heck
be
yeah.
coming out soon. And then the cover art was done by Devin George. Their work is incredible. These are some of the chapter plates that are inside it as well.
Love
These were
that.
all suggested by players and play testers, and a lot of them are based on the worlds that they created in the
Mm.
game. Um, the axolotl bus is like one of my
The
favorite things.
Axolotl Bus. Yeah, that's pretty
It,
rad. That's
it
pretty.
reminds me, it's like the underwater version of the cat bus from Totoro, My Neighbor Totoro.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
amazing.
It's
So
interesting because it's like I think of like if a genre that you seem to be developing here is like we have like arcane punks, steampunk, solar punk. It's like you're building out this genre of like aquapunk
yeah,
going on.
yeah. So we've been described as aquapunk. We've been described as hope punk
Hope
as
punk.
well.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's another one as well. Because the game, even though there's a corruption that's kind of undermining this community, it's created by the players. Like they're this is where the player agency thing I talked about earlier comes in mind.
Hmm.
I can create something scary or interesting or intriguing, but I don't know you. So I can only hope that what I create is interesting to you because it's interesting to
Mm,
me.
true. Yeah.
But if you walk into a room full of ogres and I point to a player and I say, "Hey, the leader of these ogres, there's something about this ogre that jumps out at you. Like there's something that just like your character is like drawn to something about this ogre. What is it?"
Hmm.
And that player tells me they've got the tattoo. I got a tattoo on their chest of the most lawful good um, country in the world is like burned on their chest. A
Oh.
lawful good, that doesn't believe in stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this stopped being a
Plot
combat encounter.
twist.
All of
Yep.
a sudden, I guess you now are talking. And so that actually happened in a game of mine, and they gained allies from this ogre and created this whole background. Because again, I'm surprised, I'm intrigued. I want to know what's going to happen next. I want to be as entertained. I'm not here to
Yeah.
take you step by step through the novel that I wrote. I'm here to explore a game with you.
Yeah. Yeah. No
Um,
railroads, only axolotl buses.
yes, exactly. And the axolotl bus has feet; it can go wherever it
That's
wants.
right. You can jump off the rails. No, that's
That's
really
right.
cool. I mean, so the process, when did you start developing Descent into Midnight?
Oh God, it was a long time ago.
Yeah, long work in progress.
Yeah, it started as an internet joke, as all good things do.
Fact.
There's a game called Monster Hearts,
Hmm.
which some people may have heard of. It's kind of like Buffy the Vampire Slayer style game. And one of my co-designers is making a joke about creating a playbook because they have like the vampire teenager playbook and the werewolf playbook and all that. And he said we need to make a creature from the Black Lagoon playbook and call it Brosidon.
Brosidon, yep.
The Brosidon. And I started laughing and I said, oh no, now I want to make a whole bunch of aquatic based playbooks for Monster Hearts. And then within 24 hours, Richard Kurtzlandry and I had the basic outline of what we thought Descent into Midnight would end up being. And within 48 hours, we had invited Lee Mack in because we realized we loved PBTA at the time, but I hadn't played that much. And Lee knew so much about PBTA. So we invited them along. And so the next thing you know, like the core and cornerstone of it, it was called it was originally called Midnight Zone.
Midnight Zone was the first one, and PBTA is
Yeah,
powered by the Apocalypse. That system
Powered by the Apocalypse.
is it
Yeah,
a
it's an
D6 system or is it?
kind of,
Mhm.
yes, it does use D6s, but it is a system that's based on Vincent and Mackay Baker's Apocalypse World.
Hmm.
And the way that it works is it's a fail forward system. It was one of the earliest ones. So
Hmm.
you roll 2d6, you add maybe up to a +2 or 3 or a -2 or 3. If you roll a 10 or higher, you get everything you wanted and more.
Oh.
If you roll a 7 to 9, you get what you wanted, but there's going to be some kind of narrative, maybe consequence or something narratively interesting happens.
Hmm.
And then the next thing people will say is, oh, so if you roll a 6 or less, you fail. And I said, no.
Uh,
If you roll a 6 or less, I get to tell you what happens. And my favorite thing is to give you everything you wanted and make you regret have ever wanted it in the first place.
so every action's a genie action.
Yes.
or
So
monkey
the
paw.
most interesting things is like, yeah, you punched the Hulk. He went flying back into a busload of kids, and now they're going over a cliff, right? Or whatever. I'm,
yeah.
generic, but you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, there's like, wait, no, I don't,
I didn't know. I don't
right?
want that.
I don't want that. But when you roll a 6 or less
yeah.
and you quote unquote fail, that's when you gain experience or
Mm.
potential or harmony or whatever the experience thing is.
Yeah.
So that's the way it really works in the world, right?
Mm.
You learn from the mistakes that you make and move forward. So I love that system, particularly for Masks, which is a brilliant game.
Mm.
And so we pulled from all of these different, systems inspirations, from PBTA, D20, the Blue Planet RPG just came out with Blue Planet Revised. It's 20 years later. Blue Planet was a system that really inspired me back in the 90s,
Oh
and
wow.
Blue Planet Revised just came out. I just got my copy from its successful Kickstarter 20 years later with a whole new storytelling based system for an incredible setting.
Oh.
Jeff Barber's an incredible guy, and his design is really good. So yeah, so that's where the PBTA comes from. So we got together. I've had this vision in my head of wanting to do, like, the setting is kind of what I've been playing with, but no system could do what I wanted to do with it.
Yeah.
And then we realized PBTA could. And then that's where it ended up. So if you want to know who I am inside my head, it's Descent of Midnight. It's like my magnum opus. It's me in an RPG.
this is it.
That's it. That's what it is.
So
Yeah.
it's a day one purchase. It's got to be, and it's you said it's hitting the streets soon, so we can buy
Yeah,
some soon.
so the PDF, so the PDF should be going out to backers within the next, hopefully, week or two. We've got
Oh.
the final copy. We were talking before off
Yeah.
mic. We're kind of in that space of just, let's make sure we don't have some dumb little spelling error, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
just like there's a page XX we missed or something. But we've had brilliant editors and brilliant layout designers, so I think everything's going to be good. But I'm just giving it one more final read, and then we're going to get it out to backers.
Yeah.
Once we do that, then we can do the minor tweaks that we need for the printer, and we can get our hard copies out finally. It's been a while. Unfortunately, we had the misfortune
Mhm.
of, we did our Kickstarter on February 15th of 2020,
Ooh.
exactly when COVID started tearing through the United States.
Oh yeah. Supply chain
So
took a big hit. Yeah.
it wasn't just the supply chain. We had our editor had people in their family die. We
Oh
had
no.
our that was our sorry, that was our layout person. Our editor got long COVID and is still recovering from that. It's been rough. So this is coming out way later than we had intended, but
Yeah.
we are here now, and it has continued to move forward. So we're going to take it from now and move forward with what
Perseverance.
we got. That's what it is.
Is there any way to back it still or?
You can go to descentintomidnight.com.
Okay.
Descentintomidnight.com. You can see I'm giving you some hinting about the stuff, but the video that we got that was made by a friend of mine, Ty, it's incredible for the Kickstarter. It explains things a lot more. We have a lot of great podcasters and play testers that gave us lots of sound bites that are at the end that'll tell you their personal experiences about playing the game. So you can get an idea of that. And if I remember correctly, it should also have a link there to BackerKit, where you can
Okay.
go and pick up copies there as well.
Oh heck yeah.
And so I just can't be more excited.
Yeah.
It's
That's a
just,
huge bucket list item. Like that alone is like a
this is the
huge thing.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the thing. If there was that thing, I was sitting in front of that computer screen, that blank computer screen, what can I contribute to the industry? It's a non-human marine science, socio-emotional, psionic, biotechnological sci-fi game that makes people cry. I've cried at every game. I get emotionally exhausted. I'd run like 6 playtext games at Gen Con and I would be just wrecked. I've had people, I had to throw a pen at one of my players because they made me cry so hard. I was like, I can't believe what's happening right now. This is just the most emotionally incredible
You
thing.
got to put that in like the GM text. It's like if you're feeling overwhelmed, throw a pen at one of your
Throw a
players.
pen. And you know, people, I don't throw things. It's not a thing that I do. He still tells that story. He's like, I got Rich Howard to throw a pen at me.
It was just an advanced signing. That's what that was.
It was what it was. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, GM10 said lies. Ooh, the
Oh, what?
scandal. He throws
What? Did
things
I
at me all the time. Oh,
do I?
we have
Have I ever
internet beef
thrown?
happening. Shade
I
mostly. There
think
we go.
the only thing I've thrown at you, Tim, is compliments, my friend.
Ah, he, Foo lol did it. He said muffin. XOXO.
Oh, I love when he calls me Muffin. It makes me so happy.
Well, excellent. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. So I'm definitely going to check out the backer kit so we can get a little
Yeah.
preview going on there. And yeah, I mean we're at time here. I don't want to take up too much more of your time. This is amazing. I
No worries.
appreciate your time. And
Yeah, this
hopefully
was
we
so
can
much
do
fun.
like a once we're done with the crew, like the crew and A kind of deal here. Maybe we could actually get some like live plays or something going on. See if we can get you and some of the other GMs to play a game, huh?
I would love to do that. Actually, I got a few people together to run a game. Unfortunately, Twitch ate it.
Oh,
J Africa for a fundraiser we did for this little school that my wife and I have. He ran kids on bikes,
oh yeah,
and
yeah.
it was unbelievable. Jay is incredible. It was so good. And then Jeff Barber came on and ran a Blue Planet session for us as well. And
Oh,
Twitch killed it. I could not
oh.
find the copies. So I would love to get online with any of the DMs and have any of them run. That would be super fun.
Oh heck yeah, yeah. We'll definitely talk about that. We also had an ask by zombie here in YouTube. Yeah, that's on YouTube to see if we can get like a list going of like popular podcasts. So I'm probably gonna jump in the Discord chat and ask you and everyone else, be like, hey, do you guys have any like preferred podcasts or things that you'd recommend? And we'll
Yeah,
build like a little like
I
a
do. Actually, I want to give a shout out to one right now. It's called Kill Every Monster.
kill every
Uh,
monster.
Kill Every Monster. Aram Bardian, who is the creator of the God's Fall podcast, which is amazing, and Dylan Malenfant, they're incredible. I had the honor of being on their podcast talking about the Aboleth. I won
Sick.
my first audioverse award on there for that podcast episode. It is an amazing. If you love D20, if you're into D&D, you want to talk about the ups and the downs and the how to make monsters better and all that kind of stuff. Kill Every Monster. The first half of it, they bring an expert on some setting or some monster on to talk about the monster. And that's the first half. The second half, they have Dylan is the DM. Aram makes a player character, and the guest plays the monster. And these things are amazing. DM Neil was on. He did the Displacer Beast. It was incredible.
Oh heck yeah.
Like there's the person who came on and did the Rakshasa was amazing. The Mimic was incredible. You should just do that one. Just go to that one first.
Just
And
120 size font. Kill all
yeah,
the monsters.
kill every monster.
Kill
Do
every
that.
monster.
Kill every monster. You will love it. The Goblin one was like a Warner Brothers cartoon. It was so funny. It's just also the Pixie one is a must listen to. So yeah, check out Kill Every Monster, and then I have a lot of other recommendations I can toss out there too.
Oh heck yeah, yeah. We'll farm up some links. We'll put it on there because it seems like everyone's saying yes, sweet thanks. That sounds great. They want to see the live play. So I feel like we'll be seeing you again if all goes well on on
I
stream
would love
here.
that
So yeah.
anytime.
So thanks again, everyone. Really appreciate you showing up.
Thanks
Subscribe if you want
everybody.
to get notifications, and we appreciate everyone. So
Thanks so much.
toodles.
Take care.